And I love how Dana introduced me as intense because it helps me with the introduction. I'm not all shock. She prepares you for it. And I love it. So here we are. Cosmic consciousness. To a 3-pound brain, it makes little to no sense how the unpainted background of an exquisite piece of art is as essential as the paint strokes themselves, or how a pen full of ink is completely useless if we don't have an empty page. None could be assigned its worth in the absence of the other. If the brain won't do ass work, then that should be directly indicative of the asshole superpower. There's an African proverb that implies that the hunter will always get the glory of the hunt as long as the lion does not learn how to speak. I bet each of our body organs performing life differently would perceive itself as the head of stuff that life has to offer, all due to the unawareness of the relationship between all the weird existences. But because the brain does the thinking, it therefore dictates the talking and affirms itself out loud as the most important part of the structure. But if all life was an exaltation of humankind and everything else was created to obey, why then the need to tie down a bull as if to torture him to manage to take the life out of him? It seems the bull also clings onto life the same way a person would, and it shows in his eyes too. But I want to emphasize my indifference to slaughtering and roasting some beef. I don't believe there's any error anywhere in this system. After all, someone has got to be fired that another one can thank the Lord for a new job. I've learned that every creature experiences life as the center of the universe, as though godliness only incarnates through its kind. When facts are, life is as glorious to humans as it is to a fly hopping on and off shit. Did you know that your dog on the leash also experiences you as mere nature? You're not anything special unless you feed, tender, and shelter him. In other words, the dog also creates you in his own image. And that right there is evidence that he's also 100% God. Now, this is true of every belonging to the universe. It is the universe in itself. Take, for instance, the cells running the machine that is you. When a doctor studies just one of these under a microscope, he learns of a whole different world in the cell. But when he zooms out of it to take a look at its surroundings, he notices it's just a component in a living person's oxygenated blood. And with reasonable certainty, we must agree with the fact that the cell's inside world is unaware of this oxygen or its origin. Yet, it's on which the organism entirely depends. Now, within this environment, we notice something else. Other cells, whose movement seems so individualistic, it in fact creates a fight. But this contest, when looked at from a further perspective, is what keeps an organ such as the heart alive. It is only able to beat under the crushing of over 37 trillions of distinctively willing cells. Yet to them, this arrangement is a totally unarguable oblivion. Now, let's take a walk around the heart. Do you see how simple it is for her to assume no relationship with her neighboring organs? The liver or the lungs? Even more insanely would be to assume that the heart is aware of the brain, unless they perhaps came across each other in a car accident, under which condition both wouldn't be alive to have to worry about it. Now, in this next moment, let's mindfully look around us. Notice this. Stupid, thoughtless nature directly resembles the world inside us. Rivers and creeks run underneath our skin the same way they cross through Earth's crust. Roots run from up to deep into our souls. For myself, the imagery of the clouds often strikes me as that of the brain. Earth, we love to think of it as a rock somehow blessed with life, but neither are we inseparable from the bones. Simply put, we are the blueprint of this whole being. But comfort is found in concluding on all of this as random similarity. But we are not at all different from nature. We are part of it, just experiencing it from a comparative perspective. If you don't believe this, stand on the edge of a tower and hover your sight over city traffic and tell me how much of it doesn't resemble staring down at a rail of ants fidgeting to take back home a breadcrumb. And so there's just a complexity in us tolerating the possible existence of much bigger ancient beings that couldn't see us with their naked eye. We just couldn't explain them. The same way an ant trapped in your shoe sole pattern could never explain you if it tried to, unless you have an idea of where it perhaps could begin. And so it seems we are also cells or organs in a much bigger body than our human mind would ever claim to comprehend. Thank you. This poem is, I've performed this quite a number of times. It's called Baby Your Love Hurts. Yeah, it does. Anyways, you know what? Maybe this isn't supposed to be superficially beautiful, just secretly truthful. Maybe this love is unique and it wasn't made to be faithful, just me being hopeful that you will change. Maybe ours in a different case is more of having my knees pinned against my bedroom floor as though God don't already know what my heart beats for. Just too little air into this suffocating romance. Maybe a prayer isn't supposed to always be answered to mirror our preferences because most of our realest desires are obscured to our conscience anyway, or haven't found their way out of disguise. Maybe I actually enjoy wasting all my precious moments overanalyzing where you've been and who you've been with. Well, if that's the case, I'm definitely confident you're mine. You're the one I'm blindfoldedly making these bad decisions for, hoping they finally lead us both somewhere as an inseparable one. I took you in once like THC, took you in several one more times, now you're depressing me. I swallow you along with some of the type of bullshit at the end of a bad day, and you give me a unique kind of high, not gonna lie. Future me fears the day he can't get to you. And so then, I've become a prisoner of this loop of giving you another chance and another chance and another chance. I always spare you a last chance because it feels too suicidal when I think of letting you go. It's like I'm in denial of a fundamental part of me. My friends keep suggesting I try rehab, but I consistently say no. I'm almost convinced every desire is as relevant as real. Maybe deep down in some part of me, I do adore this destructive devil in you. But still, fuck you for never lying when I asked trying to confirm the shit I just heard. That your sex is hot. It's true what they say. I just hope you'd stop fucking me with my standards on a leash, man. Maybe true to you, this had always seemed. Well, I gotta be honest, baby, with you, love hurts. That's a poem. Next poem. So there's this place I performed, and I performed this piece, the first one, and then the second one, well, not in that order. I don't know, I'm so hesitant to start with this one. But okay, Hated. We tend to want to reflect our emotions from other people around us, especially our loved ones. We think we can be happy by making them happy, that this illusory fulfillment becomes our life goal. The most common case is how we attach ourselves to what our parents want from us, that we forget what we need from ourselves. That being the best case scenario, by the way, because most often we forget we even need anything from ourselves. It is among what we learned best while we grow up to dim our light. They want us to see the world through their fitting perspective, and everything they tell us is easily believable because it's what you're taught to do all of your long life. To believe that your daddy cannot tell you a lie, that your mother is always on your side. It's true. They do everything out of love, but it's only love from the outside. From the inside, it's fear. Fear that we would lose and sometimes end up just like them. So they try to prepare us for something they also haven't understood. Life. But see, this love that dictates our lives is dysfunctional and not godly at all. Because who you were when you were wherever you are, all together convene to create your reality, your personal view of the world. So, to break it to you, not everything your daddy thinks out loud while you're seated around your dining table is true. It's more of history, his story. His exaggerated experiences are tiny dots that he connects and refers to whatever they form as the truth. But you remember always, no one else has lived your life but you. There will never be a life designed exactly as yours. Your unique experiences have given you a unique way of seeing things. You kissed a boy and you liked it. Your father never did. You want to marry that man that fucks you so good, but your mama thinks it's not cool. Well, guess what? Your mama never fucked your man. Your path is a real thing. It embodies itself through your desires. And your life is yours to experience through each and every one of them. All right, next poem. Thank you so much. Whoa, what a belly laugh. I appreciate. I didn't know I was a comedian. I just thought I was a poet. Anyways, it's great to know. So next one, I see Diana approaching. Next one is called Midday Dream. The way I speak of her, I sound utterly mentally ruined. To support arguments during our stupid guy conversations, my buddies often say, hot girls surely burn. Look at our dog, man. I remind them I've always been a scenery of scars, even way before love. Because most of my shitty life has just been aiming at tearing me apart. I could take one more fall from this beautiful star. Oh my God, I cannot be forgetting this poem. Do I look like I'm forgetting? I think of you a lot. A hell lot. But remarkably more on the 8th of every month. Probably because your birthday is October the 8th. I don't really know. On a drizzling morning as I walk along KN 3rd Avenue, a thought of you soaks me in the warmth of an adorable sort. Just apparently everything this moment badly needs. Our lettuce alley memories, the thread tying me to my closest link. We were eye to eye, communicating ideas to which we both always replied. Me too. I miss you. Yet you have the superpower of making any hour of my day golden. This is my first step, goddess. Make your magic happen. Blow me a kiss. I might catch a feeling, call it just a thrill by blowing wind. Do not overthink this. But just in case, it'll probably start sounding silly, and perhaps that's not how the world experiences me. But see, I've just recently learned that I'm your favorite joke, and this is me on my way learning to enjoy this shit. The guidelines are so far pretty insane, but isn't insanity the path to bliss? And don't we remember, and don't we relate to this? Isn't love going out of your mind just to meet yourself along someone else's mental orbit? Then what else if we're not our own world, girl? I'm just checking in from this side of us with not so much to ask from that side of me. Or is it too much to ask? Blow me a kiss. Sunshine. That's a poem. Nah, blow me a kiss. Don't clap. Anyways, the weight of your absence. Okay. Is there any feeling that urges you to quietly leave the room where everybody else is giggling? You find yourself before a bathroom mirror because there is where you meet the only person that can read you. When they talk about fatherly love, you fool yourself that you understand, but truly it's just as far as a wish goes. In the mirror, Dad, the weight of your absence is doubled and my negativity sharper, cutting myself deeper with every tap into the thought that you've never been around. That You've always been a dad, but never been mine. I try to remember your shadow overlapping mine on a sunny day, perhaps, but it's like rinsing a dry towel. Nothing flows because those memories were never made. I can't picture my thumb. I can't picture my tiny thumb in your hands. I can't remember a silly memory of my tiny feet trying on your boots. And despite loving mom more, I treasure these little moments with you more because they're limited. Limited to just wishes, which does not stop me from recounting them, even though they always mount to zero. But everybody has their luckiest day. Mine would be the one the weight of your absence on me drops, because here comes my hardest thing. Tempting to forget a memory that was never made. It's like one of those dreams I frequently have, trying to escape from a passionate male monster, but my legs won't fold. The past is empty. I've had 21 years of my life to make sure of that. The future, on the other hand, is a bit tricky. Why? Because I'm so scared of becoming you that I may never let you into my life. Blood is thick, and all I'm trying to do is stretch as far as I can to reduce the risk of becoming you. I'm writing so that my hands can read your wrongs and learn what they should never do to their own. And although I'm not ready to let you in, I wish one day you could ask that I do. So every morning when I wake up, I water my guts so that on that day when you finally feel remorseful, I'll have grown enough to fit into forgiveness, because you gotta understand, man, it's a long way to travel between forgiveness and healing. Sadly, I don't know which one of those I've done already, or the one that's haunting me still. But between me and my frowning reflection, I can't tell who has a bigger gap to fill. And I can't break through glass to hold his hand. He's gonna run away from a destructive monster. I told you, blood is thick. But he can't escort me back to the room. So we just stand there and stare at each other helplessly. All my wishes flow in a tear, fall between my feet, and dry to death on the bathroom floor. That's a poem. Really? On the mic, what do you hear? I'm painting a picture on repeat, like we're gonna post a rig and a horseman. He's going with these niggas. I do not care if the pain is taking a toll. If you're not the grateful type, I do not happily flex with you. Cut off the petty issues. Start fighting with fellow humans. Results are the same, like Tommy versus Cruz. Quit the pleading and create your deals. Go back in the day, come back to this day. It's money, your money, the story never ends. If ain't no plug, if ain't no courage, you die when it ends. When you're buried in nobody, come back to your grave, nigga. Make little sense, but no sense. What's the essence with no offense? So stressing about what you can't change. Put me in not school, maybe a class I miss. But if we're the same, put the bygones are bygones, classes missed, and I pass it to be. Carefully when you care for me. This life is a minister mourning thee. In the prophecies that we all believe, life is a walk on a string, and I pray when I die for another life, you don't waste a minute of mourning me. Just move on and squeeze your lemon and melt your cheese. There's nothing that lies in a coffin but a couple of bones and some daydreams.